Fire away.
Jermaine, what was your reaction when you heard, I guess, when Mick came in and told you guys about his situation?
I was kind of shocked. He didn't tell us till like 30 minutes before the game, like an hour before the game. So it was kind of a shock to me when I found out.
Do you think that had any effect on how you guys played today?
No, I don't think so.
So you didn't know anything that Mick had a problem until an hour before the game?
Yeah, we didn't find out till an hour before the game.
Who told you?
He did personally told us.
Oh, he?
Yeah, he told us.
Mick told you?
Yeah.
He was here?
Yeah.
Now he left. What did he tell you? Did he give any specifics?
Nah, he didn't tell us anything specific. He just told us he couldn't coach it.
What was it like not having him on the bench?
It was tough not having him. You know, he's our leader, but we should have overcame it and played hard because he wasn't there for us.
Troy, what was it like for you not having him
It was different, you know, but that's not an excuse for the way we played today. So, you know, the other three coaches, they do the same thing he do. He just has more rank. They know the scouting report. They know the plays. They know how to execute well. They know what calls to make. So I don't really think that, you know, without him today is an excuse on how we played.
The other night you were talking about how confident you were that you guys could pretty much score. You thought that would help be a breakout game for you guys as a team in terms of scoring. What happened today?
You know, it was just like I wouldn't say it was, I don't know. You know, we just didn't come out with a lot of intensity as a team together. You gotta give it to VCU. They played hard. You know, we just didn't come out with energy like we did versus San Diego State. We didn't come out with intensity. You know, we didn't have a lot of deflections, a lot of steals. You know, it was just a low emotion game today.
Troy, were you expecting them to shoot so well from the field? I mean, what was the scouting report?
That they can't shoot. That they only had a couple. You know, but I guess that's how the game goes. You know.
Is that why you guys came out in the zone like you did, because you didn't anticipate them to shoot so well from the field?
Yeah, we was gonna come out like that anyways, you know, but they were just hitting shots, you know, getting the ball in the paint. We didn't play a lot of defense solidly as a team, you know. We didn't stay in front of the ball, and we had to help a lot, you know, in all positions 1 through 5, which gave them open shots in the corner and the top of the key.
Did Coach Davis try to do anything to switch your defensive scheme so you guys could put a hand in the corner shooter's face?
I mean, we kind of knew, like, coming out of halftime that we went through a whole half with it, you know. We just should have did better as a team, you know, more intensity, being more ball hungry on the defensive end.
What about your offensive problem? You turned the ball over a lot. You knew about their pressure coming in. Obviously, you didn't handle it too well, I guess, right?
No, I think we handled the press well. We didn't have that many turnovers in the press. It was mostly half court, out of bounds plays. The press, it wasn't turnovers in the press.
Sorry, you guys said the scouting report was that they could not shoot.
That there was only 2 good shooters.
Troy, what's the level of concern or worry with the team about Coach going forward, not knowing how long he might miss, the seriousness of it, just less tests to go? What's kind of the motion?
I mean, Coach is a soldier, you know. He's going to be back as soon as possible, as quick as he can. You know, we don't know what's wrong with him or what's going on, but, you know, him not coaching today, he probably felt it himself. It probably ruined him on the inside. So I feel that he's going to be back ASAP. You know, he got things that he has to tell us face-to-face from his standpoint, and it's not gonna hold him back. You know, whatever he's going through is not going to keep him away from doing what he loves.
Jermaine, as a senior, how does this loss stack up against other losses that teams had?
I know my sophomore year we had a bad loss against Notre Dame at Notre Dame. But yeah, this is one of the worst losses at home that I've been a part of.
How does it compare to the Nebraska loss?
It's totally different, I think. Yeah, it's totally different.
Anything else? Thank you.
Player, did you know about this ahead of today, about Mick?
Well, we knew it was a possibility yesterday, and Mick met with the staff and said, he really wouldn't know until today. Obviously, had a battery of tests to kind of figure out what was going on with him, and so we had about 24 hours to really prepare for it, and but we didn't know. I mean, literally, we didn't know until this morning what the decision was going to be.
Did players know the extent of his situation?
Coach met with him, before the game at about 10:30, and we got everybody in the locker room. We were always here an hour and a half before, so once we got everybody here, he talked to him about the game first of all, and then he talked to him about his condition and told him, say, look guys, I'm not dying. I've got a medical condition right now that the doctors are going to require me to stay out of the game until they know exactly how to treat it and those things. So the players didn't know, but they didn't know until right before the game.
Much of a jolt is it, Coach, for a team to lose its head coach this close to a big game?
Well, this is a hard press conference for me because the guy's been my best, one of my best friends for a long time, and it's hard, and the kids adjust, but I'm to sit here and tell you that hey, it's no big deal. It is a big deal. Mick's put his heart and soul in this program and building this program. I've been fortunate to be with him all the way, but it's tough to lose your guy right before the game, and everybody's a little uncertain, a little unsure about things, and we didn't. I didn't think we went out tonight and played with our best effort. We were not as aggressive. We had 5 team fouls for the game. One of those was a late giveaway foul. We had 4 team fouls for the game. We weren't our aggressive self, Cincinnati basketball self, and blame that on whatever you want to blame it on. But if we're going to continue on, whether Mick is back the next game or it's 3 games from now or whenever he comes back, we got to play Cincinnati basketball, which is aggressive defensive basketball, and you're going to have to play better.
Did Mick tell them he has an aneurysm, or did they just tell him it was a medical condition? Did they?
No, they know. They know. Yeah.
Troy said that the scouting report indicated only 2 of the VCU guys could shoot. Was that a reason they didn't get out? No,
the players, they have two guys that can really shoot. Okay, and as a team, they're 34%. When you look at their percentages and you look at the number of threes they make per game, okay, 21 and 32 are the 2 guys that make about 2.5 threes per game. And, our game plan going in is how they get them is they beat you off penetration, okay, and then you help, and then they kick out and they get wide open. So we opened up in the matchup zone, and we just felt like we weren't getting to them. And so that's why we went to the man-to-man. We went with a smaller lineup and try to match up and play man and switch.
Did that aggressiveness also affect what you guys are doing offensively?
Yeah, it's discouraging when they're on a run of making threes, and you're coming down and you're missing some open shots or some inside shots that we got, and you got to be tough enough. You got to show that toughness to just keep defending, keep trying to get stops, and know that your offensive game will turn eventually. And we probably gave in a little bit today. And we just didn't show, again, the Cincinnati toughness that we did against San Diego State, and we did, towards the end of the Nebraska game, probably the second half of the Nebraska game. But today we didn't bring that today.
It's get frustrating as well. You beat the press as well as you guys did, but then you get into the half court and turn it over and make mistakes there.
Yeah, we didn't really turn the ball over against the press. I think we had 1 turnover against the press, the actual full court press part of it, and but. One thing about pressing, and we always say this, it wears you down. It wears you down. You constantly have to worry about it. And then we got in the half court and certainly had some turnovers that were caused by us, not necessarily caused by them. Bad decision on a pass, had some travels. We can't. And when you're playing a team like that, you got to have a low turnover game. Got to have a low turnover game if you're gonna, if you're gonna win the game.
You had 3 starters with no points at halftime. You didn't get much production from those guys. What's the answer there? can't win like that, I guess, right?
No, it's hard. I mean, we say if you're going to add your points up, I mean, if you're going to get to 65 or 70, you got to have a couple guys that are getting you, 14 to 16, and then you got to have 3 or 4 more guys that are chipping in between 8 and 10, or you can't get to 65 to 70. And you're going to have to get to 65 or 70 to win in a high-level game. And Troy's been helping us. It was 0 for 5. And we just, again, you got to have more production out of because we don't have Sean Kilpatrick. We don't have one guy that's going to go get us 20 every night. We have to do it as a group, and that's how we've been doing it. So, like you said, Bill, you get 3 of your starters who don't produce anything, and that's going to make it tough on you to score enough points to win.
With the uncertainty with Mick, how much is it on you and people who are close to him to convince him to stay away and get right before he comes back? Because I'm sure people in your business and his nature want to get back as soon as possible.
Well, every coach wants to get back as soon as possible. I mean, that's just the nature of it. But Mick's a smart guy, and Mick realizes that, this is a basketball game, and as much as we wanted to win today, and as much as I wanted to win today, and the team wanted to win, the rest of the staff wanted to win, again, he has to do what's right for himself physically, because no basketball game is worth your life. There's not one out there that's worth your life. So, it's one of those deals where he's smart enough to know, and he's going to do what the doctors, because he's a guy. He wouldn't let a doctor advise him how to coach a team. He always says this, but he would. He's not going to advise a doctor how to tell him to stay healthy. You got to listen. You got to let the expert do his thing, and then you got to listen to the expert and follow his advice. And again, Mick's a smart guy, and I can tell you this. He's a competitive guy. He'll be, as soon as the doctors say it's okay, he'll be back. That I can tell you. And if the doctors say he can do limited things, if he can be in practice, whatever it is he can do, I know Mick, he'll be there. He'll do every single thing that he can do. But he's not going to put himself at danger either of dropping over.
So did he go home after he talked to the players?
Yes, because they wanted him to. They didn't want him to be here.
But was it hard for you to block it out, having just been told an hour and a half before the game with Hep and Dan behind you?
Well, I knew yesterday there was a possibility. So
not for the game today, though. I mean, with that going on and Hep and Dan behind you, could you block it out and focus on coaching?
Yeah, you have to at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. I mean, you have no choice. I mean, I love Mick. He's given me a great opportunity here, and I've been glad to be with him all these years. And nobody wanted to win the game more today than me, and help win it for him. And I'm disappointed in our effort, and depending on what happens with him, okay, I mean, I got to be ready to step up my effort even more, and we got to get this group winning, whether he comes back or he doesn't come back. Now, that's our task at hand. But to answer your question, it's hard, but you got to be a professional at that point. You got to focus on the game. You got to, like we tell the kids all the time, if you come to practice, if you come to a game, it doesn't matter what's happened off the court. That's a place that that's your world. For that hour or 2 hours or whatever, you can lose yourself in that, and that's what you have to do.
Hep told you before the game that Mick was told last night by his doctor that he shouldn't coach today, but you said he didn't know until this morning.
Well, I mean, again, I don't know what Coach told Hep. I mean, Coach told us last night as of 10 o'clock, they'll make the final decision in the morning. He had some tests ran last night, obviously, and, again, I wasn't there. I don't know the conversation between those two. So all I can tell you is what he expressed to us.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah.